Hi, you guys. I'm Jane Mills. I'm a reader, tarot reader, mediumship, all that kind of stuff here at Spirit University. I hope you're all having a good day. Hope you've had some good readings, some fun stuff. What I'm going to talk about today with you is connecting with your spirit guides. And I'll start off by telling you when I was young, I didn't have anyone around to discuss spiritual things. I was raised in a small town up in Ohio, and I called my flow of information my conscience because I had no other words for it. I just, excuse me, I just had some lunch. I knew I had a guidance system, but I'd never heard the term spirit guides. So I just called it my conscience and let it flow. And I thought everybody did this. Little did I know. And that kept me on my path because I trusted it. It was just second nature to me to kind of have this ongoing conversation. You may have your own phrase for it, but and whatever you call it, that's fine. Semantics don't matter. It's just our way of opening up and communicating with our spirit guides. That flow of information, it comes from the universe, it comes through our third eye or into our knowingness. Whatever you want to call it, it really, as I said, the semantics don't matter. It's not that big of a deal. But keeping the dial tuned to the right station does matter. The information coming through should be helpful, should be encouraging, enlightening, without blame, all of those positive things. If you're getting information and you wonder, is this really my spirit guide or am I just making this up? Consider the tone of the information. Like I said, it should be helpful and positive. You're also flat out ask, are you of the light? Are you of the light? Are you of the light? Say it 3 times. They are not allowed to lie. And if you get a no, say thank you, go away. You're in charge of all of that. If you don't yet recognize your own flow of guided information, a good way to access it is through meditation. A simple thing that you don't have to sit down and do Gregorian chants or anything like that. You can just sit in a quiet location, form a bubble of white light to protect yourself all around. Say a prayer that sounds right to you. Doesn't have to be my prayer or her prayer. It's what sounds right to you. Envision your third eye opening for the information to flow through. Your third eye, if you don't know, is kind of between your eyebrows, kind of up here on your forehead. And allow it to open because you've protected yourself, you've said a prayer. It's okay that it opens and it's okay that the information comes through. And then ask only information that would be helpful to me at this time. And allow some time for those answers to happen. You may want to keep a pen and a paper with you because sometimes you don't get the answers right in that very moment, or sometimes you get information that you don't quite understand. Because sometimes the information will appear in what I consider like code or signs, symbols, a riddle. It makes you actually do a little bit of work to figure it out sometimes. But they will always make this information accessible to you in a way that is unique to you. For example, if you're a person who likes to work jigsaw puzzles, they may send you symbols of puzzle pieces, and you're like think in your mind of how to put those pieces together to make the whole big picture. And that gives you clues of what they're actually talking about. Or if you like to cook and make new recipes, it may appear in your mind as an ingredient for your life. They won't suggest you go panning for gold if you live in New York City because it would be a little difficult to do. There's not a lot of mountains full of well, those buildings, but there's a lot of there's not a lot of mountains full of dirt that you could sift through. But if you do happen to live in New York City and you get an impression of someone mining for gold, it could mean something like you're finding golden opportunities. See how the image would convert to something that would be helpful to you. Or it may mean you're letting the good stuff go down the chute, because there's a big chute that when they mine for gold, you're letting the good stuff go down the chute when it could be good experiences for you that you're letting go and you need to pay attention to them. They will tailor these clues to things that, as I said, that make sense to you. For instance, I love dogs. I used to have cats, but I do love dogs too. And my mother-in-law is scared to death of dogs. So if they send me an image of a dog, to me it's like good things, happy, like dogs are. If she would get an image of a dog, it's something to be scared or concerned of. So the images, I can't tell you if you say, oh, Jane, I woke up in the morning and I saw this dog, what's it mean? And I think my spirit guide's trying to tell me something. Well, yeah, they're probably trying to tell you something if they showed you a dog. But I can't tell you what the dog means to you because I know what it means to me. You have to figure out your own clues. You have to figure out your riddles. You have to figure out your symbols. And it's okay, as I said, when you get things that you don't know like that, write them down because they will help put that into perspective for you throughout your day, throughout your week, until it becomes, and you go, oh, so that's what that dog means when I saw it in the morning. They'll put those things together. They may add to go back to another analogy, they may add pieces to that little puzzle of that dog to where now you can figure out what they're talking about. But it's an ongoing open conversation that you have, or if you allow it, if you open your third eye enough and leave it open when you're not just sitting there meditating, it's an ongoing conversation that you can have. And this information that comes through, it may be, especially if you're just starting, it may be a little trickle of information. Maybe just a couple of words that you get every now and then, or it may be just wide open, like you're having a conversation with your friend, or anything in between those two extremes. It's not a competition to see who can get the most and best information. It's just that you do this and you get a connection with your spirit guides. The more you practice, the more information and the better information that you get. Your guides are very, very eager to communicate with you. They so want to talk with you all the time. You just have to develop that connection as you turn your dial specifically, and then you have said your prayer, you've protected yourself so you can trust the information that comes through. And trust is very, very important. Because imagine how you would feel if we were best friends and you asked me a question and I told you I thought about it hard and I gave you the best information and you just ignored it. Now, that's your choice to ignore it, but you understand now the communication is stagnated. It's like, well, I don't really feel like giving you a lot of information because I gave you a great idea and you ignored it. So your guides will always still help you, but if you create doubt in that conversation, it changes the vibration. And well, they don't really want that information that I gave them. They don't really want it. And if you set this situation up of where you don't want it, your guides will act accordingly. Like, she doesn't want that information. When I tell her these things, she doesn't act accordingly. We will have to show it in a different way. Keep your vibration up. Keep the trust there for the communication to flow with your guides. Now, we all have spirit guides. All of us do. And They can be beings similar to us who have incarnated here on Earth, which is helpful because they already know what Earth life is like. Or they can be angels, ascended masters, relatives who have passed, good friends on the other sides, pets, archangels, on and on and on. And how many do we have? I have no idea. You have at least one main spirit guide, and then you have some more. The main spirit guide was with you the moment you took your very first breath. This is an agreed upon, it's an agreement that you two concocted before you were born, that that person or that being was going to be your main spirit guide. And the two of you agreed upon that before you were born. So that would be a good one to get in touch with quick, or the first ways, if you have not yet been in contact with your spirit guides, because your main spirit guide is with you all the time, 24/7, except maybe you can ask them not to go to the bathroom with you, but you know, it's your choice. But your main spirit guide is someone that you can get in touch with easily because they're always there. Most of our spirit guides don't really care what we call them. You can ask them if they have a name, and they can tell you if they care, or if they can be flippant and tell you, it's Felix, I don't care. But they don't really care. You can, it's up to you. If they don't give you a name, you can call them Lucille or Smarty Pants or Queen Bee. You can make something up, and that's just fine. If they give you a name, I would write that down so that it's easy for you to remember until you get used to using that when you communicate with them. Bye, guys. Thanks. And this is something that I always tell my clients, and if you've been with me and you've heard this, I apologize, but please bear with me. There are people in here that have not. Your spirit guides signed up to do this. It is their honor. It is their part of their soul contract and yours, and it helps their soul progression. But you must ask for their help. They are not allowed to interfere except in dire emergencies, like you've heard of somebody sweeping by and lifting cars off people in an accident. That was probably a guardian or an angel. If you do not ask, they can only give you nudges or keep shouting at you from the ethers to your closed off mind, but they cannot interfere. You must ask. If you do not ask, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because they want very, very badly to do anything that we ask for. They want to help you with anything at all. And if you do not ask, you are doing a disservice to them by not allowing their soul to progress by helping you. There is no limit to the help that you can ask for. There is no limit to the number of times that you can ask, but you must believe it when you ask for it, because your belief of the help showing up is every bit as important as the asking. You must believe it to be so. Their time is not linear like ours, so their answer may be instantaneous or it may take days or months to occur. But know that they know what is best for you, and continue to trust the information that comes through and believe that is there. And then remember to say thank you. Always express your gratitude. So I hope that you start and continue and develop your connection with your spirit guides, because it's so important and it helps you and it helps them. Thank you all. Hope you have a great day.